All right, this is Rudy, and this morning I was sent an electronic copy of Schaeffer Cox's Motion60b. I'm up to about page 19, and I'm going to read this thing into YouTube eventually, but it might take me a day or two because I've got a lot of things going on. But I put it in Schaeffer Cox's DROPBOX. I'll put the link in the description bar. In as strong as words as I possibly can, I highly recommend that you download this file and read it. When it was scanned in, it was only 26 pages, but sometimes there's multiple pages per page, if you know what I mean. So it's actually 36 pages, and then I think there's a 3-page letter to the judge in the beginning. But it's absolutely blockbuster information. I mean, when you see the wickedness of what's going on behind the scenes that Schaeffer's called out in this Motion60b, it will blow your mind, and I'm not exaggerating. Let me just read to you one excerpt from the bottom of page 17, and this will just give you just a highlight. And he goes through every which way they came after him. The Polar Pen team targeted Schaeffer, and they were going to get him no matter what. And it didn't matter that they had to threaten his life. It didn't matter that he had just had a baby. They were going to do everything they can to either kill him or to put him in prison. And this is a letter from Stephen Scrocky, whose teeth has fallen out because he's a drug addict. And he sent this to the corrupt Alaska attorney, Karen Loeffler. They're both evil, wicked as hell. I mean, I can't even say enough wicked words. Sons of Belial, daughters of Belial. These people are evil, wicked doers. Listen to this email from Stephen Scrocky sent on Sunday, February the 13th, 2011. It's to Karen Loeffler. Okay? It says, Subject Cox, long email, sorry. And this is Scrocky communicating with Karen Loeffler. Listen to the conversation from last night. In summary, they are kicking around ideas. My advice, do not arrest him if he doesn't show, and then in brackets it says sick, S-I-C, but issue the warrant and let it sit. They discuss not being strong enough to impose their views on the rule of law. They discuss everything from 241 to fleeing to the rapture and coming and waiting for that. In my view, the FBI source is pushing Cox a bit too hard on not getting arrested. And the source agrees too much in moving their plans forward, which would generate a response, whether violent or not. Keep in mind that Scrocky didn't just come in as a prosecutor. He's pushing this thing even before Schaeffer gets arrested. And Scrocky is telling Karen Loeffler that the source, which would be J.R. Olson and Bill Fulton and Aaron Bennett, are pushing it too hard. They're pushing it too hard. He says, and the source agrees too much in moving their plans forward, which would generate a response, whether violent or not. The source adds, why don't we make it a 541? Well, that was Hell's Angels wannabe, J.R. Olson. Can you imagine a government informant promoting that we kill 5 people in the government for one of ours? The government informant said that. Not a good idea. The FBI has to fix this. Hey, the government informant hired a Hell's Angel wannabe drug runner, just reprobate from hell, and Scrocky saying, hey, the FBI's got to fix this? Oh, you think so, Mr. Reprobate son of Belial Scrocky? After some discussion of 241, Cox says, we're just speculating here, and I want to hear where you stand. Cox's stated thoughts are, we are not strong enough to execute or follow through, and says they should do everything we can to avoid it. Hey, let me quote that again just in case that you missed it. Cox's stated thoughts are, we're not strong enough to execute or follow through, and says they should do everything we can to avoid it. Doesn't sound like somebody is embracing the 241 plan, does it? The source says we can get other militias to support us. Another example of pushing. The source says, so whether it be Olson or Bennett or Fulton, we can get other militias to support us. It's like they're egging him on. It's just insane. Cox says we want to bluff, and here's an interesting misspelling. If you ever thought a misspelling was important, this is an important misspelling. When Scrocky is writing to Karen Loeffler, he says that we want to bluff them and play and train. He thinks Cox said play. No, Cox didn't say play. He said pray. Because Cox doesn't understand what prayer is. Cox doesn't understand what Christians do. They don't play, they pray.
You mean,
What's that, babe?
Rocky doesn't understand.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. Scrocky doesn't understand what Christians do. And so he misspells what Cox said. He said Cox said play, but Cox actually said pray. And he's relaying the wrong information to Karen Loeffler is what he's doing. And ask, what do you guys think about this then? And after getting various responses, none saying, let's go grab and harm people tomorrow, he ends it with bluff it, pray, but he puts play again. He misspells it again, and dream. He says at the moment his plan tomorrow is to lay low, and if he gets caught, to play Gandhi, not Rambo. Again, he qualifies almost everything. It's very obvious he wants wiggle room. No, if you say, I want to pray, and you want to play Gandhi, and you'll do everything you can to avoid it, that doesn't mean you're planning to kill anybody, and it doesn't mean you should spend 27 years in prison. Hey, Scrocky, you are an evil, evil, reprobate piece of crap. And Karen Loeffler, you're just as bad. You're both sons and daughters of Belial. I pray God's divine wrath upon both of you for what you've done to this innocent family and this innocent man. And I'm going to do everything I can to make sure this entire Motion 60B gets as much widespread publication as it possibly can. And even though the judge didn't allow it into the record, it's going to be in the public record. And the public will find out how evil you bastards are.